Good morning. Welcome students to SV Union High School and Junior College. Standard 6 English Prose The Sword in the Stone. The Sword in the Stone is the famous story of King Arthur, who was orphaned. Destiny in the form of Merlin the magician helped Arthur. Arthur was given to Sir Ector, under whom he grew up. It was Arthur who pulled out the sword from the large stone in the churchyard. This gave him the right to be the King of England. The Sword in the Stone, a legend set in ancient Britain. The Sword in the Stone narrates the story of King Arthur, one of the bravest and the noblest king of Britain. His journey from being an orphan to the king of Britain is traced in this lesson. After Lord Arthur's death, the lords of knights began to fight for becoming the king of Britain. A sword appeared in the churchyard with the message, "Whoso pulleth out the sword is by right of birth king of England." Many knights tried to pull the sword out of the stone but failed. One New Year's Day, Sir Ector, a noble knight, and his two sons, Sir Kay and young Arthur, too had gathered to witness the great tournament. Sir Kay, who wanted to participate in the tournament, had forgotten to bring the sword from home. He entrusted the job to Arthur, who unknowingly brought a sword which he sighted in the churchyard. He thus proved that he was the rightful heir to the throne. Merlin appeared and explained that young Arthur was entrusted to Sir Ector for safety, as both Lord Arthur and Merlin knew the great danger that lay ahead for the kingdom and King Arthur. The Archbishop announced to the assembly that King Arthur was the rightful king of England. This announcement was first met with anger, but when King Arthur proved that he could draw the sword easily, it was accepted amidst cheers and jubilation. King Arthur, famous in legends and history as one of the bravest and the noblest kings of Britain, grew up as an orphaned youth before destiny intervened in the form of his protector and guardian, Merlin the magician, to reveal his true identity to the people of Britain. In ancient Britain, at the time when the land was invaded by the wild barbarians, the good and the noble, Lord Arthur fought them bravely and drove them away from his land. The people made him King of Britain and gave him the title Pendragon, meaning the dragon's head. King Arthur Pendragon ruled Britain wisely and well. The people were content, but very soon the king died. It was thought that he had been poisoned by some traitors. Traitors means disloyal people. There was no heir to the throne of Britain, but there were rumors that he had a son who disappeared. The powerful lords and the knights who had been kept under control by King Arthur now began to demand that one of them should be crowned King of Britain. Rivalry grew amongst the lords, and the country as a whole began to suffer. Armed robbers roamed the countryside, pillaging, plundering, and looting farms and fields. People felt unsafe and insecure in their own homes. Fear gripped the country, and the lawlessness prevailed over the divided kingdom. There was fighting and unhappiness up and down the land. Merlin watched the troubles grow. They grumbled and complained and showered each other in ashes to make sure that they sat in their very best seats. It's no good, they cried. It's probably as early April Fool. Nearly 16 years had passed since the death of Lord Uther. All the lords and the knights of Britain had assembled at the great church of London for Christmas. On Christmas morning, just as they were leaving the church, a strange sight drew their attention. In the churchyard was a large stone, and on it an anvil of steel, and in the steel a naked sword was held, and about it was written in letters of gold, "Whoso pulleth out the sword is by right of birth King of England." Letters of gold were written round the rock. He who draws this sword is the Britain's rightful lord. Many of the knights could not hold themselves back. Fancying themselves as future kings, they rushed to the stone and attempted to draw the sword from its steel anvil or track. They pulled out with all their might, but none of them could do so much as to move the sword. Obviously, the man who might draw the sword and prove himself to be the rightful king is not amongst us this morning, said the archbishop. However, every man who wishes to try his hand at drawing the sword is free to do so. For the next few days, he who draws the sword will be the crowned king. And to celebrate the appearance of this magnificent sword and prepare ourselves for the arrival of our future king, we will hold a magnificent tournament on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, a great number of young and brave knights gathered to attend the church service. After that, they met in the field nearby to participate in the great tournament. Dukes and counts, earls, barons, and knights crowded onto the field. Among them was Sir Ector, a noble knight. He was accompanied by his two sons, Sir Kay and young Arthur. Kay was his own son, who had been recently knight. "Treat me with more respect," said Sir Kay. "How can I?" Arthur laughed. "Stop tripping on your spurs." Kay proudly practiced walking and riding in his new armor. Arthur acted at his square and rode behind him. Arthur, whom he had brought up as a foster son, was actually an orphan whom he had raised as his own child. The good Sir Ector loved both his sons dearly. He must learn to be simple and straight before he is noble and great. "Never fear," Sir Ector said. "I hold him dearer than my heart." "I was half expecting you," said Hector. "The first half is up to you," said Merlin. "Treat him like a son. Teach him to be a true knight." As Sir Kay was preparing to join the tournament, he realized that he had left his sword behind at home. Hastily, he summoned his younger brother and said to him, "Arthur, you want me to win this tournament, don't you? Then you must help me out. Take my horse and gallop home as fast as you can. Get my sword and rush back here at once. I am going, called Arthur, rushing off at once. You shall have your sword sooner than you think. It would be good to have a go at that. No trouble, Arthur said. I'll go and get your sword. He turned his horse about and galloped off. But as he passed the courtyard and where the stone was set, he saw the sword. Kay bullied Arthur quite a bit because the boy was younger, but Arthur learned to stand his ground and laughed at Kay and teased him. As he rushed past the church, a glint of steel caught his eye. The blade of a sword shining brightly in the morning sun. The sword was mounted on an anvil on top of a block of marble, right in the middle of the churchyard. It was the magic sword in the stone. But Arthur knew nothing about it. All he saw was a sword that was available for taking. Kay shall have his sword straight away, Arthur said to himself. He ran up to the stone, seized the sword by the handle, and drew it out effortlessly. He rushed back to his brother and handed the sword to him breathlessly with excitement. He did not read the writing that could save me quite a ride, he thought. He took it from the stone and galloped back. Kay took the sword. You are back very soon, Sir Kay said to him. But, hey, this is not my sword. No, it isn't, smiled Arthur. I thought it would take me too long to get home and bring your sword. I found the sword in the churchyard. It looked good and I thought you could use it just for today. We will, of course, put it back when the games are over. Sir Kay stood speechless, staring at his younger brother. He knew all about the magic sword and what it signified, but Arthur was unaware of it all. Arthur had always been a brave and a valiant boy, and he had excelled in fencing and archery. He adored his father and his half-brother, and his dream was to become the squire to his dashing brother. And now, without even knowing what it implied, Arthur had drawn the magic sword from the stone. Kay's mind was working rapidly. He actually held the sword of the stone in his hand, the very same sword that the strongest and the best knights could not so much as a grip or get hold of it. He looked at it with surprise and showed the sword to Hector. Look, father, he cried, this is the sword from the stone. Does this mean I am the Britain's rightful lord? What's he on about? Asked Arthur. Sir Kay seized the sword and ran to their father, leaving a beloved Arthur behind him. He said to Sir Hector, Father, father, this is the sword of the stone, and I have it in my hand. I am the rightful king of Britain. Sir Hector was a wise man. How did you get hold of this sword, son? He asked his eldest born.